Hey, Josh, thanks for taking some time to answer my questions. And I got a couple of them.
All right, let's go.
Okay, I have this little screen, like, looks like a factory. Am I putting a new screen in here?
Yeah, so this is actually probably the most exciting thing that I've seen in a really long time, right? Because you are putting a new screen in this car, but what's really cool about this type of a dash is that traditionally, the manufacturer equipped a lot of really cool features, right? Like a motorized screen function. They have a pocket that's hidden behind that. And there are some solutions that exist today for that type of an installation, as I'm sure you already know, obviously.
Yeah, very expensive.
But like what happens whenever, like if this car comes in your install bay right now and you want to put a radio in it, what happens?
I sell them a really expensive dash kit.
Right.
And then I pull out my tools and I start cutting.
Yeah, well that, and then also you probably lose the motorized screen function,
Definitely.
right? And then you lose the pocket behind it. And that's something that a lot of those customers have grown to appreciate because they've had that vehicle, they've gotten used to that feature existing. And then now whenever they come in for another product from you, they're gonna lose two things that they're used to having in that application. Now the other side to that too though, is they're also gonna go from a factory 8-inch screen down to a 7-inch screen, right? Because you're more than likely not putting like a floating panel 10-inch product in something like this, right?
No.
So what's really cool about this is our new direct replacement category. When you open that box up, it is literally just a raw screen. And then you have your radio brains that are separated. And through the iDataLink Maestro Apex stuff, they're gonna take care of where all that stuff's supposed to go and how all that stuff connects. But when we do that, that also means we get to keep really cool features. For example, like in this case.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Right, so that factory function that the customer already knows, it still gets to exist whenever you deliver the car back to them. The other side to this too, though, is it simplifies the learning curve for your customer because the way that all of these buttons interact stays exactly the same as how it was. So the factory volume knob controls the volume for the radio. You use the tune, the seek, whatever the case may be, you go into the main menu, home screen. Whatever those factory icons are that they were already using before, stay functioning the exact same way when you put one of our direct replacement products in.
So where am I plugging the RCAs into this thing? You said brain box. Where's the brain box?
Yeah, so that's gonna be installed wherever that factory location may have been prior, for the most part, right? So what Maestro did, and I think it's genius, is they found where these locations are in these vehicles. They built the brackets to be able to adapt to that. So that means we're not doing any permanent modifications to the vehicles. We're simply creating a product that was designed to fit the car, as opposed to how you have to do it right now, of putting a product in the car and kind of forcing its way in there, right? With heavy modifications, cutting plastic out of dashes, things like that. So Maestro took care of all that, and those brains are gonna go wherever that factory location is. So in some cases, it may be a kick panel, it may be a lower panel in a dash, it may be directly behind the receiver, but whatever that is, Maestro's got it taken care of for you when you order the appropriate kit for that installation.
Well, I know in the past, when we would put these boxes, brain boxes away, it was like, hey, you gotta be careful, you can't, how are we doing that? We can mount them in different angles and not have any problem?
Absolutely, and that's something that's really cool. So these can actually be mounted in 3 different types of environments. So you can have a vertical mount, you can have a horizontal mount, and then you can have what we call a vertical sideways mount. So that would be like your kick panel installations, because it's gonna be mounted vertically and then shifted to fit into where that factory location was.
Does it auto-learn, or do I have to program it to do that?
So that kind of ties into another feature that we implemented into this. So you have to tell the receiver what orientation it's gonna be mounted in. So when you boot that up, it's gonna have you select vertical, sideways, or horizontal, right? And the reason behind that is because we also built in like a dual gyro system in this new product. So it helps us to implement new features. For example, think of like your Jeep customers.
Yeah.
A lot of those people who maybe go off-roading and they want to know something that's really important to them called pitch and roll. And I'm sure you know all about that.
Oh, yeah. I've rolled a car too.
Yeah, right? So this actually has that built into it now. So there's a new source that's in this. You can put it as a widget on the home screen of the receiver. You can even implement it into something that's really cool within Apple CarPlay and Android Auto now. So what we did is we also brought in a split screen function that's gonna exist under the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto menu. Now, whenever you do that, you have the option to change that sidebar and select a lot of different sources. For example, your climate controls that you may wanna retain. You also have the ability to change your source. So say you're utilizing Apple Maps inside of CarPlay, and then you wanna listen to HD radio. So you can change that source through that split screen function, keep your maps running in CarPlay, or going back to the pitch and roll, you can also designate that as one of the sources too. And you'll have your pitch and roll located on the right side or left side of the screen, depending on how you choose for it to appear. And then you'll also have all of your Apple functions maintained all inside of that CarPlay screen, which I think is really cool.
Well, you mentioned CarPlay, Android Auto. Is this wireless or do I have to plug in?
So as true Kenwood fashion of any of our top tier products, it's gonna do both. So you have the ability to do wired CarPlay and wired Android Auto if you choose to. But in addition to that, it will default to a wireless connection if you just hit that little yes button whenever it pops up and prompts you.
Now, I get people asking all the time about Toslink.
Yeah.
Are any of these gonna have that to make these guys happy?
So we're talking about this as a JVC Kenwood family, right?
Yes.
So within that JVC Kenwood family, I'm sure you already know this obviously, but most people probably know we have JVC, we have Kenwood, and then we also have a special little part of that family that exists, right? Kenwood Exelon. So in our Exelon reference quality products, we typically put the best of what we can for audio, right? That is the bread and butter of what XR is. And in that case, we also implemented a Toslink output on these two.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, with that, are they gonna be able to hook up anything to it? Is it just gonna function?
Yeah, so it's a Toslink output directly from the backside of all of our Exelon reference products. You have the ability to actually convert that to 48K or 96K, depending upon what type of a DSP or processor you may be running that into. So you know some of the older ones don't necessarily do 96K input, for example. So you can actually drop that down and then maintain that signal. So it gives you that clean signal output all the way to 48 or 96.
Now, this is the 8-inch,
Right.
but I see this one here. This just looks like a float screen, but I know this kit. This is a Ford, and I always put a really big, expensive kit into here to, put a 7-inch behind it. What is going on here? Is this like that? What am I looking at?
So this is kind of like this is a perfect segue moment, right? So at launch, we're coming out with 50 million vehicles of compatibility on the road.
Wow.
Maestro's doing all of that with 11 SKUs. And what we found whenever we started looking into a lot of this is that the 8-inch is like the bread and butter of what this direct replacement category is gonna be. However, Maestro, being forward thinkers like they are, they came to us and said, hold on, you have a really great screen that the industry already loves. So like our DMX 1057XR, DMX 1037S, or the Z1000. Now, what they said is, if you can give us a different way to be able to mount that screen, we can expand this compatibility beyond what it would have been at launch with only having this 8-inch. So we hit the drawing board, worked with them on that, and we came up with a bracket solution that actually allows them to put our 10-inch screen into a factory location that may have had a 4-inch screen, or if you think about some of your Uconnect vehicles, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, that have that 8.4. That's a little larger than the 8, but they've got this bracket system that allows us to actually adapt to those applications now. So when you think of like a JL Wrangler, super popular vehicle, right? So we can actually put this into those cars now, whereas before, we had some solutions, but we didn't have as much as we wanted to, right? The beautiful part is, like you said, an expensive dash kit. This simplifies all of that. This is the factory dash, right? We do not have to have that dash kit. So that means whenever you're installing this, you're not pulling climate panels off of a dash assembly and then relocating them from one to another, or having this big assembly that you got to worry about. You're simply just maintaining the integrity of the factory parts, and you've got a nice little bracket that comes out of that 4-inch opening in this case, and then you just slide that screen onto it, lock it into place, and it sits nice and close to that dash too, so there's no gaps or anything that your customers may not like.
Now, the one thing I've noticed here is that this is tucked in really tight to the dash. How am I getting that little bracket in the back with the screw that we always have to fight with and lose the screw on?
Right, so that kind of ties back to that cool bracket that Maestro made, right? So that bracket actually comes out, it's just got 2 little arms, and then you simply just slide the screen into place. You don't have to worry about those little screws that go down on the older models and then would push that plastic panel down, because this simply slides onto that bracket, you put the screws in from the side, beauty cover over it, no metal exposed, and you have a nice clean install with an easy to access situation.
So my brain is racing, and I'm thinking like 8-inch screen. I've seen tons of 8-inch screens in cars, and off the top of my head, one of them that we get all the time, they want to update it, is the Infinity, because it has that little screen up on the top.
Right.
Is there a solution for that?
Yeah, because historically you can't do anything because there's no space behind that screen, right? And that dash, it's literally just the screen that sits flat up against the back. So you can't modify that to put a radio in. But if we go back to this and look at that as just that raw screen, that opens up all these possibilities. So our vehicle compatibility is going to expand beyond cars that we can work on today. So tomorrow, we have the ability to get into vehicles like Infiniti, Nissan. Maestro retains all their factory controls just as well. And we have that factory look and finish, but an aftermarket performance.
Now, I'm looking at the back of these, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot going on. Is there any accessories I'm gonna need for this? Because clearly if they're fitting in that many vehicles, I'm gonna need something. I always do.
Yeah, and Maestro has done their best to simplify this as much as possible. So, you know, on their website, you've seen their vehicle fit guides, right?
Yep.
When you type in the vehicle, year, make, and model, it populates with everything that you need to do the job. Now, what's really great about this is although we have all of these vehicles, if it's your Ford, your GM, your Chrysler, Infiniti, Nissan, Lincolns, and so many more, right, that we can get into with these kits, they do all of that with just 11 SKUs. So there's only 11 Apex kits that you have to worry about stocking if you want to, which I'm sure, as you could probably agree, a lot of shops right now have to stock hundreds of dash kits in order to have access, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, they've simplified that drastically. And then all you have to do at that point is you have to add in the RR or the RR2, because that's what takes care of that vehicle integration. And there is one new thing. You have to use the HRN-ACC-KEN1 harness, right?
Love that harness.
I know. And most of us just call it the KEN1, right?
Yes, we do call
But
it the KEN1.
you do have to use that harness in these applications because this product was designed to be like a direct replacement category. So we don't want people cutting wires. We want this process to be seamless, and we want it to have that factory feel when it's all done.
Now, in previous, you've had 4-camera inputs. You've had 4-camera inputs. Does this still have 4-camera inputs?
Yeah, so when you think of this type of a product, think of all the features from our top tier products. So it's gonna have 4-camera inputs. There's actually a new OEM camera multifunction that'll be kind of adapted differently. You know how that works, right? As it stands right now.
Steering wheel controls.
Right, you gotta put the car in reverse and then you gotta hold one of the steering wheel controls to change the view, which works really great and it's awesome Maestro figured that out, but they also figured out a better way for us to implement that in this category. So now when that screen pops up, there's simply gonna be little icons and you tap it, and as opposed to having it in reverse and holding a button. So we're gonna retain 4-camera inputs. That's gonna stay true to this. Like we said, we added in that Toslink output to the Exelon reference. We'll have USB-C connections, HDMI inputs. All the expandability that people are used to from our top tier products is going to exist in this product line. I'm really excited about that.
Now, one of the things I really like about your radios is the AC controls.
Yeah.
Did you guys do anything there? I mean, I know it was really good to begin with, but there's always room for improvement.
There is always room for improvement, and we are fortunate enough to have been able to receive a lot of feedback. And one thing that did come up is it was a little bit cumbersome for some people, where when you would adjust that climate and it would change your screen to that climate screen, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is designed and engineered to have more of that OEM feel. And the way that that operates on an OEM platform, I'm sure you've seen, like, look at a Ford vehicle, right?
I own one.
You own one, right? So when you adjust that climate, does it change to a whole climate screen?
No.
It's just a small little icon that pops up, right?
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing that happens here. So now you have the option to disable it if you want to, but when you want to see those climate controls in action, you simply turn that knob, and it's just a small little spot that'll pop up and let you know what temperature you're adjusting to kind of make it more convenient. And it's small little things like that that we think all eventually add up to deliver a great final product.
That's fantastic. I'm excited about this product. I can't wait to get it into the bay.
That makes 2 of us.
I know, right? So you said there's 11 kits. I have way more than 11 kits in my all right, time out. Now you said there's 11 kits. I have way more than 11 kits, and I know it covers a lot of cars, but what's the future like?
So what's really cool about this is 11 kits is phase 1, right? And phase 1, we're already done. Like the manufacturing part of it, that's happening right now. We're getting ready to bring all this product in and start delivering it to all of you so you can share it with your customers, right? But the exciting thing is we're already looking at phase 2 and phase 3 of this. So while we are obviously devoting all efforts to making sure that this product launches a success, on the back end of that, we're also shifting our focus to the future of this because we know that this is the future of where we need to head. So we've got a lot of eggs in the basket of phase 2 and phase 3 already at this point, and we're only going to continue expanding that. What's really exciting is a lot of the hard work's done. Really now it just boils down to figuring out what size screens do we need to be able to adapt to continue growing our vehicle compatibility.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for taking some time out to answer my many questions. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
I appreciate you having me here to talk about it. Any opportunity makes me happy.